This is Lab 3 done by Group U2. You can mute it. The first question gave us the demand curve for somebody's demand for gizmos, and then also gave us their income. And the first part of it asked uh, for the choke price, basically the price at which the person will no longer demand any gizmos, which would be $36 in this case. And then if the market price is at $10, how many gizmos will this person demand? And it was 13 gizmos. And at that price of $10, what is this person's price elasticity of demand for these gizmos, which would be negative 0.38, making that elasticity inelastic.
So for the question 4, it's asking at a price of 10, what is the consumer surplus? So you just plug in the new numbers into the equation. You get 26 times 13, which equals 338. You divide that by 2, and that's 169. The next question is asking if you raise the price to 12, how much consumer surplus is lost? So you plug the new numbers into the same equation. The final answer is 144, which is 25 less than the last answer at a price of 10. Question 6 is asking if the income were 80,000, what would be the consumer surplus loss from a price rise from 10 to 12? So this is just like the last ones. You plug in the numbers in the equations, and the conclusion is $33 of lost consumer surplus. Next slide.
For the second question about the effect on supply for a price of a good, the first part of that question was asking us to calculate the supply schedule. And so we did that by getting A and DQ over DP. And from that, we got the supply schedule was Q is equal to negative 10 plus 0.5p. For the second part of that question, it asked us to calculate the producer surplus for the market. And so we did that by just getting the area of the triangle, or the bottom triangle if it's for the supply graph. And so that came out to $100. For part 3 of that question, it asked us to calculate the change in the producer surplus if the policy caused the price to fall from $40 to $34. And that was just the change in the two areas, which came out to $79. And then finally, the last part of the question asked us what fraction of the lost producer surplus is due to the reduction in quantity supplied, and then what fraction is due to the fall in price received per unit sold. And using the graph, we got the answers of 2/3 for receiving less permit and 1/3 for reduction in quality or quantity.
All right, so for the last question, we used a spreadsheet and we used a person's utility function. And so we calculated an increase in the budget until utility, so the price increased, so we had to calculate what the increase in budget would be in order for the utility to remain approximately the same. And so the increase in budget needed for the same utility is going to be 122.45, which was calculated using just the equations given. And then so we comparing change in CS measured with the Marshallian demand curve to the compensating variation. And so that is going to be, so compensating variation is the higher price, so that's 122.45 minus the original, which is 100, and so that gave us negative 122.45. And then for the Marshallian surplus, we plugged it into the equation given, which gives negative 21.37, and the difference is the Marshallian curve incorporates income effects associated with price changes and substitution effects. And that is all.